50 years ago this week, a U.S. District Court judge in Washington State issued one of the most consequential legal rulings in modern case law. The Boldt decision was a culmination of 7 decades of protests, arrests, and violence in Washington's so-called fish wars.
And while the landmark federal ruling dealt specifically with local fishing rights, what it meant for tribal sovereignty has had a nationwide impact. Fox 13's Lauren Donovan reports.
For 8 centuries now, red cedar canoes have sailed to and from the ancestral fishing village at La Push. On the Nisqually River, the vessels may have changed, but the storied relationship between tribe and salmon runs deep.
Being on this river for me is like going to church. Being able to set that net and exercise our treaty right is something that I want to be able to do for the rest of my life.
And it's that very right that 50 years ago this week, a federal judge reaffirmed. Let's step back in time, before commercial fishing became the cash cow it is today, to a time where salmon were plentiful. Orcas still thrived. No dams, no overfishing, no pollution. The year is 1854. Washington was not yet a state. Indian nations around Puget Sound ceded their tribal lands with the caveat.
They were guaranteed that their usual and accustomed fishing grounds would always be theirs.
In exchange for millions of acres of land.
Scholars and Indian law experts at both the University of Washington and Seattle University will tell you, over the years, as salmon proved extremely profitable, that promise, that treaty signed by Governor Isaac Stevens, was tested.
So by the time you get to the post-World War II period, there's simply not enough fish. That's when it really got very intense.
In response to both conservation concerns and cries from angry commercial fishermen, the state began to crack down on local tribes, igniting the so-called fish wars of the 1960s and 70s.
What sparked that sort of cultural awakening within our nations?
They were shot at. Their boats were confiscated and the bottoms were beaten out of the boat so that the boats couldn't float. They would use their nets in the river, and non-natives would throw bales of hay in the river to foul the nets so the Indians couldn't catch fish. It was war.
In Seattle, marches down First Avenue. In Olympia, rallies in the State House, displays in traditional dress. Fellow civil rights activists showed up, as did Hollywood names like Marlon Brando.
It's what sort of sparked the Boldt decision.
In 1974, this upstream battle reached one of the highest courts in the land. In Seattle, Judge Hugo Boldt reviewed past federal rulings and found,
well, wait a second. These treaties obviously reserved the legal right for those fishermen.
He also decreed, moving forward, the annual catch allowed in the state of Washington must be split 50-50, half of which would go to the tribes.
They were limited to half of the annual take.
The fish wars, as they were in the 60s and 70s, might be over, but we are still seeing a major depletion in our salmon population throughout the region.
It took local tribes suing to ensure the state would replace hundreds of culverts with new fish passages.
We see movements around dam removal in preservation of fish, right, under those treaty rights.
The total cost to Washington state now estimated to be around $8 billion. The treaty's no good if there's no longer any fish left to catch.
When you look at the resource as it existed at treaty time compared to how it is today, it's barely hanging on.
Reporting in Seattle, Lauren Donovan, Fox 13 News.